Raghav had worked as a night guard at St. Mary's Hospital for nearly 5 years. He was used to silence, used to the hum of the fluorescent lights, used to empty corridors echoing his lonely footsteps. But nothing in those 5 years had prepared him for what happened one stormy night in late November. It began a little after 2 in the morning. The rain outside hammered against the glass doors, and the wind howled like wolves circling prey. Raghav sat at his desk, fighting sleep, when he noticed movement outside. At first, he thought it was just shadows playing tricks on his tired eyes. But then the hospital entrance creaked open, and four figures slowly walked inside. They were strangers, two men and two women. Their clothes were wet, faces pale. Between them, wrapped in a long white sheet, they carried what looked like a lifeless body. Raghav froze. Who? Who are you people? He asked, voice trembling. The tallest one, a hooded man, spoke in a gravelly tone. We need to keep her here. Just for tonight. The others said nothing. One woman, with striking grey eyes, stared directly at him without blinking. The air grew unnaturally cold as they approached. Raghav's instinct screamed at him to stop them, but his feet moved on their own. Almost against his will, he picked up the morgue keys and led the group down the corridor. Their footsteps echoed behind him. The sound was heavy, dragging, unnatural. At the morgue, he unlocked the door. They placed the body gently on the slab. As the hooded man turned to leave, he leaned close to Raghav and whispered chillingly, Don't look back. The four strangers slipped out, leaving him alone with the cold body. The next morning, Raghav expected questions, but instead there was confusion. The nurses claimed no new bodies had been admitted. The morgue records were blank. When he rushed back to check, the slab was empty. Shaken, he demanded to see the CCTV footage. What he saw turned his blood cold. On the tape, there were no strangers, no body, just him, Raghav, walking down the corridor alone, unlocking the morgue door, miming the act of carrying something invisible. He looked like a madman cradling air, setting nothing down on the metal slab. This isn't real, he muttered. I saw them. I knew I saw them. But the tape didn't lie. That night he returned to his shift more restless than ever. Hours crawled by, and then at exactly 2:15 a.m., the lights flickered. Static buzz filled his ears. The door creaked open. The four figures stood there again. The same hooded man, the same grey-eyed woman, the same silent companions, and once again between them that dreadful sheet-wrapped body. Raghav's heart pounded. His voice cracked as he asked, Who is she? The grey-eyed woman finally spoke her words, soft yet echoing in the empty hall. She was never meant to be alone. Neither are you. The hooded man added, We want you to see. No one else can. The hooded man reached out a skeletal hand. Open the way. And so, once again Raghav led them to the morgue, but this time he refused to leave. He stood by the slab, forcing himself to look as the sheet began to shift. The cloth slid away. A pale hand emerged, fingers long, nails blackened. The air turned icy as the corpse's face came into view. Sunken eyes, lips stitched shut, skin grey and lifeless. Raghav stumbled back in terror. No, this isn't possible. The hooded man's voice rumbled like thunder. You already know. And then, as always, the last whisper, Don't look back. The door slammed shut behind them, trapping Raghav in darkness with the corpse. When dawn broke, he bolted home, his phone clutched in his shaking hands. At last he thought he had proof. With trembling fingers, he played the recording. At first, relief flooded him. The figures were there, the hooded man, the grey-eyed woman, the body. He hadn't imagined it. But then the footage shifted as the phone slipped in his pocket. His stomach dropped. The video showed him alone, talking, smiling, gesturing widely at nothing, stroking the empty slab as if caressing someone. And then came the sound, his own voice answering himself. A whisper echoing from the shadows of the morgue. Don't look back. Raghav dropped the phone, his hands shaking violently. The screen cracked, but the audio kept playing, looping that same sentence over and over again in his own distorted voice.
By the time he realized it, the whisper was no longer just on the phone. It was in the room with him. And when he finally turned his head, against every warning he had been given, he saw pale grey eyes staring back at him from the darkness.